Hello, and welcome to Wilderness Inquiry's Trail Tips and Tricks. Today, we're going to teach you how to build your own fire starter kit. Fires are a staple anytime you're out exploring, whether it's cooking some fresh caught fish, roasting some marshmallows, or sitting around telling ghost stories. However, you never know what could happen on trail, whether it's bad weather, lack of resources, or lack of time. Being able to build a fire quickly can either kick off a night of relaxation or potentially save a life. Let's show you how. So, what are you going to need? When building any fire starter kit, you're going to need a few basic ingredients, but they can come in all different shapes and sizes. First, you're going to want some type of weatherproof container. This could be as simple as a Ziploc bag, an Altoids tin, or this here is a ground pepper container. Next, and arguably most importantly, something that makes a spark. This could be matches, a ferro rod, or a classic lighter. Next, you're going to want something that lights easily. This is going to help start your fire. It could be a classic cotton ball, nice and fluffy, or some loose twine that you could get at a hardware store or a gardener store. Lastly, you're going to want something that catches easily. This might not be able to light, say, with a match, but it will catch easily and help build up your fire. Your kit can have as many or as few of these ingredients as you prefer. Next, I'll show you what I keep in mind. This is my personal fire starter kit, and what I think is great about this is I was able to make it out of stuff I just found laying around my house. As you can see, my weatherproof container is a ground black pepper box, and if I pop open the lid, you'll see I cut this out a little larger to give me easy access to what's inside. For example, here I have a lighter, some small chunks of wood that I'll talk about in just a second. And over on this other side, I have what looks like floss, but really, it's just a spool of twine. And that kind of helps it keep from getting tangled. So all I have to do is just cut this here. And now twine might not seem like a great fire starter compared to a cotton ball, but if you just simply unspool it and kind of roll it between your fingers so it gets nice and hairy, like so, it can catch a spark real easily and become a great fire starter. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. So that's that. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to make something called fat wood. Fat wood is something that occurs in nature naturally. It's basically pine wood that's soaked with resin, so it catches very easily. However, if you don't have that, it's very easy to make. All you need is some wood like we have here. This is just scraps that I broke and kind of cut into pieces that would fit into my box here, and a standard candle that you'd find around the house made of paraffin. Let's show you how to do that next. So, all we need to make our fat wood is a couple of things you can find laying around your house. First, we need a pot. I'd recommend using a small pot, preferably if you have an old beat up one, maybe in the garage or down in your basement. Use that one first. Or, if you feel like you're going to be doing this more often, you could run to Goodwill and buy a used one and just keep that separate. This is a candle I just found laying around. It was already broken, so that made the choice pretty easy. A needle nose pliers, and that's going to be used for fishing the wood in and out of the wax once it melts. And then lastly, I have a little sheet laid down here just to help minimize the mess. So let's go ahead, break up this wax, put it in our pot, let that melt, and I'll check in with you then. So as you can see, our wax is melted and I've dropped our wooden sticks inside. Now, whenever you're working with anything hot, especially wax, you need to be very careful. So please only use needle nose pliers for fishing wood ends in and out of the pot, as well as, if necessary, go ahead, grab a hot pad. We're going to go ahead and let these soak for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll pull them out and set them right over here to cool and dry. After that, they can go right into our fire kit. As your wood is soaking, you might notice a lot of bubbles escaping and foaming up on the top of your pot. That's actually all the oxygen leaving the wood as the wax goes in and fills in all those open pores. So, don't worry if you see any bubbles. That's all part of the process. Alright, so these have been in here for about 5 to 7 minutes at this point, so we're going to go ahead, take them out, and we're just going to rest them right over here onto our cooling sheet. After these have cooled off and solidified, you can go ahead, put them right in your kit. And after this, I'll take some of these outside and we'll show you how they work. Alright, now that my fat wood has had plenty of time to cool down, I've created my own little portable fire pit here. I live in an apartment, so I don't actually have one out back. Using this cake pan here, I've taken some of that twine I showed you earlier, and simply by unspooling it, I created this big, fluff, almost bird's nest that should catch really easily and hopefully ignite our fat wood. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. There you see the twine catches pretty quickly. Hopefully, let's see if our fat wood catches as well. Looks like this top one is going. Awesome. Yeah, so it looks like this top one got lit and maybe some of those other ones will follow. But what's great about this fat wood is that not only should it catch relatively easy, but it should burn slower than most woods. For example, you'll see this one. It's just right on the top there. If we can get this end going. With this wax penetrating deep into the wood, it should have a slower burn and work almost like a coal would in a fire or in a grill. Additionally, this should be relatively windproof. See, I'm trying to shake that out. See if I can blow it out. Can't even blow it out. It's getting a little hot there. Additionally, with all this wax in there, it should be relatively waterproof. With all that wax, it shouldn't allow moisture to penetrate in there, and that'll help given maybe if you're having a rainy day for starting a fire, or if you just simply don't have the resources available. So, using all the simple tools that we just found around our house or your apartment, this is a really easy way to elevate your camping game, take a little stress out of trying to start a fire, and is a cool activity you could do with your family or friends. Hopefully with these helpful tips and tricks, your future fire building will be a breeze. Stay safe out there, and remember to share the adventure.